Welcome everyone, this is Katie. Today's topic is calculating percent using mental math and calculator. So let's get to some examples. Example 1, we've got 150% of $5. So we're going to use our mental math, which means we're not going to use a calculator to get the answer. So it will be simple and quick. So 150 is 100% and 50%. So 100% of $5 means it's just $5. And 50% of $5 is half of a 50, because 50% is a half. So what is half of $5? Is $2.50. So altogether, 150% of $5 will be the sum of these two values, which is $7.50. So that was pretty simple. We didn't even have to use a calculator and we got the answer. Let's try another one. 0.1% of $1,000. Okay, so in this example, we're gonna use a technique which requires dividing by 10. So we're gonna start with 100%, because 100% means the original value. So 100% of 1,000 is just $1,000. And we're going to keep divide that by 10 until we get to 0.1. So that's our plan. So 100 divided by 10 is 10%. So 10% of 1,000 is $100. Okay, we're doing the same thing to the percent and the value. So we got the 100 divided by 10. And we're going to keep divide that for the next one. So divided by 10, 1% of 1,000 is $10. So we're almost there. We divided by 10 again. 1 divided by 10 is 0.1%. And 10 divided by 10, it is $1. So the answer is $1. $1. 0.1% of $1,000 is $1. Let's try another one. So what if you have a fraction value, fractional percent, 1.5% of $20,000. So similar to the second example, previous example, we're going to try that using starting from 100% and all the way to 1% and a half. So 100% of $20,000 is $20,000. Divided by 10, it'll be 10% is $2,000. 10 divided by 10 is 1%, and it will be $200. So we got $200 for 1%. So we got a whole number part. We just need to find a half percent. So half percent can be found by dividing by 2. So we'll do that again. Divided by 2 this time. So it will be 1/2, half percent of $20,000. And it is $100. So 1.5% is 1% and 0.5%. So for 1% of $20,000 is $200. And 0.5% of $20,000 is $100. So if you add those two values, will be $300 total. That is the answer for 1.5% of $20,000. So we got the answer without using a calculator. Okay. In the next example, next 3 examples, we're gonna use a calculator this time. Example 1, 160% of $53.27. Okay, so when you're given with the percent and you're trying to find the answer, you would have to change the percent to either fraction or decimal value. And usually the decimal is easier, so we'll change that to decimal. So how do we change the percent to the decimal? This is a whole number. That means you can, if you want, you can write the decimal, draw the decimal point at the end of the last digit, which is a 0. And you can move that decimal point to the left side and move that twice. And that will give us the new decimal point for the decimal value of 160%. So 160% is same as 1.60 in decimal value. And we're going to write the value 53.27. And here the of, we're going to translate that into multiplication as the operation. And you just simply multiply these two values, 1.60 times 53.27. So obviously you would have to use a calculator in this case. And the answer is 85.232. Okay, but this one is in currency, so it's in dollar. So that means we would have to round it to the 2 decimal places here. So 2 is less than 5. So the answer is $85.23. That's the answer for that one. Let's try the next one. What if you have a fractional percent? 3/4% of 135. So same thing. It's better to have a decimal value. So we're going to change that 3/4 in decimal form. So 3/4, 3/4, which means 0.75%. Okay, 0.5% in decimal form, it's 0.0075. So our decimal value of this percent is 0.0075. And of will be translated to multiplication, and 135 will be used as it is. So 0.0075 times 135 is 1.0125. And that is the answer. Pretty simple. And let's finish the today's lesson with one last example. So 55 and 8/10% of 500. Okay, so 55 and 8/10. So 8/10 is just 0.8. So 55.8% can be written as 1, 2, new decimal place. Fill in with the 0. So the decimal value of this percent is 0.558. Okay, let me correct this 558. And multiplication 500. So 0.558 times 500 is 279. And that's our answer. Okay, so just to recap, when you're given with the percent, make sure you change that to the decimal place, decimal value, by moving the decimal point twice to the left side of your number, and translate the word of to multiplication, and then multiply that decimal value with the given number, and you will get to the right answer. Okay, so that is for today, and thanks for watching. See you next time.